August day. It's not 100 degrees today. I like to paint now from life, not from photographs. So I want to go to the place and set up the easel and set up my paint box. You've noticed that I do have on my equipment that I'm using, I have a cheap camera easel here, and it's cheap camera easel. I have made this bar that goes on there out of a ruler, using and drilled a quick release thing, and made a mount for the board, which is a standard size half sheet watercolor board. And I've got a really good portable easel. In fact, at one point I had about a half a dozen of these, and I would sell them off or give them away to people. They're really cheap to make. I think these tripods are only about 20 bucks. And then I have a paint box, which I've adopted so that it sits on top of an easel and makes myself a table with the brush holders and a water holder and I've got my palette, which fits the box. And then I got backup paints, pencils, and everything's in this little box. And I always got to remember to bring water. Yesterday I had to paint with my drinking water. I forgot the bottle of painting water. And now I'm ready to go. Well, it really wasn't like this always. When I was in high school, I was going to be the world's greatest artist. I went to high school here at El Camino High School in Carmichael, then later over to American River College, and I had some great teachers over there. I had both the Botanical brothers as teachers. When I painted oil painting, because that was the way you had to do it, you know. And so I remember after I graduated, I turned my parents' garage into a studio. I built my own easel, studio easel, and stretched my own canvases, had my own paint box, and I started doing oil paintings. And I did a series of oil paintings that summer, and of course they're all lost. But that was what I wanted to do. And then I went over to American River. I took classes, and then life interrupted. And my parents insisted I went on a church mission. I went to England for a couple of years. I didn't do art. Should have. And then after that, I got engaged, came home, resumed the school, wasn't working too well, got engaged to get married, and that fell through, and then I ended up in the Marine Corps at that time. It's either join the Marines or get drafted, that's what it was. And so I spent 4 years in the Marines. I did a tour and a half in Vietnam. I didn't draw, I didn't paint. And then when I got out, I went to Southern California and I started painting again, but got some oil paints and started dibbling and dabbling. My new bride down there, the person one I have now, didn't understand what I was doing, didn't understand art, thought I was nuts. But we had a great life in raising a small family, and I was engaged in restaurant work and printing businesses and so forth, constantly tempting to pick up painting again, doing art again, but then not. This went on for several years, and then in 1986, I bought a small watercolor set. My first experience with watercolors, actually, because we didn't get that at school. You know? And one of these little small sets, with little small papers, you know, and which I should have in my pocket, but I don't. And then to make my own Christmas cards, save some money, right? I found that was rather difficult, but I persevered, and then finally, well, Christmas is over, and let's do little landscapes. You know, I was a big fan, became a big fan of Prince Charles, of all people. He was painting small watercolors, plein air, in the fields, in his travels, and I thought they were beautiful at the time. They still are, and he got to, you know, I found him because he made a deal with Sony Records, and I was into classical music, so I was collecting record CDs, you know, and he was doing the covers.
Oh, wow.
He did about 40 covers for Sony.
Wow.
Watercolors, so that was cool. And then the watercolors started getting a little bigger, you know. I thought, well, I'm going to go back to college and learn some more about art. You know, I felt that I didn't know enough at that time, and that was in the back of my mind. I was working full time in the printing business at that time here up in El Dorado Hills, and then I heard about a watercolor club. What is that? Is there such a thing as a watercolor club? I was ignorant of the fact that there are thousands of non-profit art clubs throughout America.
Yes.
I didn't know about that. I thought the only way to learn art was to go to college.
Yeah.
So I showed up at WASH here in Carmichael at the Sacramento Fine Arts Center. I showed up there to see what was going on, watched the painting demonstration, met some other artists that were the same level as I was, beginners and some experts. And I started attending those meetings and volunteering for the club, entering in competitive art shows, my watercolor papers growing bigger, learning about what a half sheet size was, and then a full sheet, which is twice as big. And somebody there at the class, they talked about magazines about watercolor. So I picked up those and started looking at those, you know. And then somebody said something about a teacher named Woody Hansen. Oh, so I looked him up, and he's the one that got me to really become a believer in outdoor painting from nature, because that's what he did, and that's what he taught. And for maybe 5 years after I first met him, I took every workshop he had, and for about 5 years after I first met him, we would meet up on Friday mornings outside, usually on the river. We have our special spot on the American River, Peckins, near there. Yeah. But I have probably 500 American River paintings. You can't have too many.
Yeah.
Right. So, when we first met, both of us discovered an artist that. You know, I'll throw some names out there. You're going to hear about George Post, he's gone. John Moran, he's gone. There's a California School of Watercolor Painters. Study it up someday.
Yes.
They're vast, but they're all gone now. The last living one I was a friend of was Ken Potter. He was the young kid then. They were in their prime, the California style watercolors. But then we ran into Henry Fukuhara.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I immediately told my boss I needed a weekend off, and I went down to Santa Barbara to a workshop and met him, showed him what I was doing, and he actually took me out to lunch at a club in Santa Barbara. Wow, that was a nice place. Santa Barbara's got some nice places. So we followed him, and he taught a workshop in in the former concentration camp in the High Sierras in Manzanar every year. So Woody and I would go up there to that workshop, and Woody and I being, we took turns sharing and teaching, because Henry didn't teach all the classes, he got other students to teach them. And I got to do it twice.
Wow.
Yeah, and so did Woody. And then Henry couldn't attend anymore because of his age, and he finally passed away at about 99 years old. He was totally blind and still painting.
Wow.
I have a couple of pieces that were given to me that he made when he was totally blind. He would what color is this? Where's my pen? He'd paint pictures when now Woody's actually almost doing that, because he's almost he's not going outdoors anymore. Paintings are coming out of his head.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is a good place for him to come from.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my background, and so that was happening about 20 years ago. And it's when I got this. It's really been that long. It's been about 19 years since I got into my first juried show. Now it's been hundreds of them. I have a box of ribbons. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's just been awesome. What I've done with my little particular kind of methods and style that I developed.
Yes.
So I walk into a place like this, and it breaks my heart so many times when I'm working with other painters that first thing they do is they get their camera out and start taking pictures. And I don't think that works. I think you're better off getting out your sketches and draw it. And sometimes that sketchbook is as small as a sticky note pad. Don't have one today. You can actually do a little sketch on a sticky note. And but I like to use a 4x6 piece of paper. I also carry advertising around in my pockets in case somebody stops.
Of course.
Most people, when you're out playing or painting, they leave you alone because they're afraid you're going to sell them something. Yeah, so I have this place memorized. I don't have to walk around it anymore. But if I was new to it, if it was my first time here, I'd walk around. And there's a beautiful area over there across this, I think, a little stream over here. I've been up on that hill and painted. In fact, I took some school children up there, and we all painted this scene once.
Nice.
So I love this Jensen Gardens. It was been here. The guy bought the property in 1958, and when he retired, came here from Oakland with a bunch of plants, bought more plants, and with his goal to make this a beautiful botanical garden. And he did a good job with it. And then when he passed away, it was donated to the Carmichael Recreation and Park District, and they've maintained this very much. In fact, they do a real good job with it. They've made some improvements, have little tables for you to sit, a larger lawn area, and they've built a trail now that you can come from here on Fair Oaks Boulevard, and you can walk through to Sutter Avenue, and the park continues all the way to Sutter Avenue. And there they have a community garden.
Oh wow.
And that's a whole new painting exercise in itself, because they've got some oaks over there and a community garden. So they've done a really good job of developing this. And this, of course, I get so challenged by that tree over there, that oak. Is that a valley oak or is it a live? I don't know. I get mixed up with names of oak trees, but they're different ones. And I'm just gonna start doodling. And I'm using a big black pen because My vision's not that good anymore. And so I can see the lines, and I may not have success with this. Just something really simple. It's like I was just talking to somebody yesterday. I was saying that if you don't want to draw it, if you don't want to, and you just want to start painting on your canvas or your paper, at least stand and look and feel where you're at. Memorize it. You get an impression. And what I see are these dark, curly branches, and some foliage and a deep blue sky. I see that, and there's a lot of things that aren't that important that I might leave out. Won't put it all in. That covered bridge was really nice, but it didn't fit.
Yeah.
It didn't meet the edges of the banks of the stream.
Oh.
So they made some wrong measurements, so we had it. But it was there for a while.
Yes.
So I got black line. And then the next step is let's go ahead and put some values in. Let's get this, do a value plan. That would be next. So we take a pencil and put in values. You're getting a watercolor lesson for free.
Yes.
I wouldn't say this is watercolor. I say it's painting, and I use watercolor. So when anybody says, "Oh, let's get a watercolor class going," it's really what I want to get is a painting class going. Because you can apply these ideas to charcoal, oil, acrylic, whatever you're doing, even just graphite. So I guess this would be a value plan. Where it's got different tones, different gray tones, from black to lights. Don't leave anything out, because later you might want to say, what did I mean to do here? And unlike if you go and look at my sketchbook, you'll see that it's full of value plans that I made in the field previously. And a lot of times I take them home and color them. And then sometimes I get lazy and don't put the value in. I can go back now. Sometimes I do put a photograph in, yes. I can go back and I can paint these scenes over again because what I remember about them, where I was at, and there, some of them are just value plans. Some of them I've added colors to. So that one, when I get done with this one today, it'll go in my book. It'll actually go to book number 40.
Wow.
46.
Wow.
I'm at 46 now. Okay.
Wow.
This one somewhere in here has the work from the last time I was here. I'll find that later. Anyway, yeah. So put the sketchbook down and take the value plan, flip it to the board. Now, here's something interesting for you viewers out there. Of course, I'm going to paint this scene right here. We tried. But why am I painting this way? Well, because the sun's up there and it's not reflecting off of the, it's not reflecting off the paper. If the sun was behind me, I would be blinded by the reflection. So I always face the sun. I'm going to have my back to, of course I got a bunch of other sketches on this thing. Sometimes I'm driving down the street and I see something I like, I'm going to stop and draw it. And then get back to my car and maybe take it home and paint it in my studio. Okay, it looks to me like I have a vertical sketch and a horizontal board here, so we have to fix that. Which is not hard to do. I just unclip this quick release here, pop it back on, put my easel back on that. And now I'm vertical. And I'm going to do this penciling in my sketch. And I'm not following this exactly, as you can tell. And I'm not copying this exactly. Yeah, if I wanted to, I'd get my camera. And it would make a beautiful photograph. I think I'll put a figure in there and give it a little life. Why not? This paper is a Windsor Newton cold press paper. Beautiful thing about this, if I screw this up, I turn it over and paint on the back.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now the secret weapon. I was at art reception last night and somebody says, how'd you make your black line? I said, that's a secret. But the secret is pigment-based ink. Ink, pigment-based ink, not dye. And it dries instantly, not water-soluble. Over the decades, it will not turn brown, and it won't soak through the paper. Many markers will do this, but this particular one is the dry erase expo marker. That's my secret weapon. And they're about $1 a piece still, if you get them on sale, which is a lot better than paying $10 for an artist marker. And of course they have, you can, your line can be of different darkness and different lightness. They work like kind of like a piece of charcoal. In fact, you can use charcoal. Henry did, and I have. And sometimes I don't use the marker, and I use a black pigment-based ink right straight out of the jar with a brush and put the black line. I really want those squiggly branches. Twist and turn the marker, or the charcoal, or whatever. They don't have to connect either, because we're going to pop foliage in the sky. And make sure the figure's not too big, it'll throw the scale off. A little bridge. That's not a photograph of the bridge, it's just a feeling of it, just an indication that the bridge is there. And that rock is beautiful. And I don't have to put the complete fence in. And sometimes I get somebody watching me and I put them in. Okay. And I think the fence is going to go over here. Of course, you see that fence is all connected together in a circle. Well, I'm not going to do the circle. I'm going to leave pieces out of it. I'm an artist, you know, not a craftsman. And am I ready for paint? I've got to put a rock here.
I can see you
Another one there.
in the rock. It's really exciting.
And put this tree. And have another branch maybe here.
I can see a rock, but I can't see you.
And then there's branches from the foliage off in the distance. I can put these lines in after I paint too. I will put the paint on. And then when I'm finished, I may add more line.
That's me.
Is that? Oh, yeah, what do I need? Yeah, I'm going to kind of paint from the side, this side. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Okay. And going to start out. Okay, I start now with a dirty palette, so some of this color from my palette from the previous painting is going to maybe end up in there. And now that I've got that cleaned up, we're going to go in with the sky. And when I do a workshop with students, they start with the sky first. I taught in Yosemite, and a lot of the people that were in the class were not painters, and they would spend 15 minutes painting the sky on their picture. I don't want to spend more than 15 seconds. I have 4, maybe 5 blues in my palette, and I mix them up. A sky like today might be more cobalt, but I'm going to go to match it. Sometimes I don't even try that. Sometimes I'll make the sky yellow. Why not? Sky. Whenever I do a demo, my style kind of changes a little bit because I get a little looser, faster, more careless, and that may be a good thing. I put blue there, I'm going to put some somewhere else, even if it doesn't need it. Okay, that's my sky. Oh, you say that's not done. Well, we're going to mix some foliage in there too. Okay, so another secret I'm going to tell you, quinacridone gold.
Oh, nice.
You put that with that leftover blue. And you might even match that foliage. Yes. Well, I'm not going to paint every little leaf. I find it very fascinating that when I paint pictures, some of the choices I make, some of the things that I do, decisions I make about color, and some of the colors I make are really happening. They're happening. I can't think of the word for it. They're just happening by themselves. They're coming out of me.
Yeah.
They're memorized. They're intuitive. That's the word I want. And I can't even tell you why I made that decision or this decision. Okay, there's the leaves.
Yeah.
You got them, right? Okay, so we're going to kind of stick with that quinacridone gold. But I'm going to introduce another one. I'm going to mix up kind of is it the color of dirt and bark? Sort of. There's another secret color. It's called Peachy King.
Oh.
You have to buy it from Cheap Joe's, but it's actually what it is red, yellow, and white. And it's a marvelous mixture to have already mixed up. You could do a watercolor with about 6 colors if you wish.
Yeah.
But I like to have maybe 20. And I found out over the years that that the brown I never use anymore. The burnt siennas and the ochres, I'm using more primary as I go. Quinacridone gold, that counts as a primary because that's a yellow set. You know, that's a red. So that's a blue, yellow, red right there.
Yes.
And there's another blue, yellow, red there.
Yeah.
And there's another blue, yellow, red there. So 3 different kinds of watercolor.
Yes. Looks like, well, let's see the fences. In my sketch there, the fence is the dark value and the background is a light value. And we make it there. And I get painting on a demonstration where I'm in a vertical like this. I have the added creativeness of having drips. Yes.
Drips are good.
So I'm going to put the 1-inch brush away for now. I could keep doing it, but maybe I will. I'm going to do a couple of things here. So I'm going to take these colors right here. I'm going to stay. I want color unity when I get done. All right, so I've got these colors right here, these lighter colors. I'm going to add to those other colors so that I come up with a dark, because I want to got some dark in there. And that Cheap Joe's color right there adds opaqueness.
Yes.
And then I don't mind the little, I don't use black, but you might find Payne's gray in there.
Oh yeah.
Now, there I've got a dark gray, and it's got colors that are already in there. So, and I can make a thinner line with it. Up and along. Sometimes in the middle of the painting here, I become silent. It's because the head is working very hard.
Yes.
Now, for the black line now, I'm not going to go back to the pen. I'll use the brush. Now, what am I going to do about their pens? Bright corner, a light corner, a dull corner, and a dark corner. And I think the fence. There's that moment of silence again. Okay, I see. I'm going to do this. I have ordered some new glasses. One brush stroke to Okay. Okay. I think I'm done with that. I've got a little smearing going on off the touch-up. And that's my impression of the mighty oak here at the Jensen Botanical Gardens.
It looks great. Wow.
And we got let me get a little light here. And it'll be fine. I might I've got the blues in the sky. I have blue down here. I have this orange here. I should put a little orange up there. The figure is going to be the center of interest. I don't care what you do to disguise it. Human figure will. So I'll make that a bright color. I'm almost tempted to do what I did yesterday, and I made the figure red.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but then I put a dab of red here and a dab there, so I got 3 reds
Yes.
for balance. This one was painted in about 15 minutes.
Wow.
Just exploded at the paper. So now you have a little bit of my history, a little bit of how I got to where I am, and how I do what I do at this moment. Of course, this is continually, my style and my painting is continually either getting worse or better. I don't know, but it does change. And if you want, I could do a show and tell right now.
Okay.
Right here, just here.
Yes.
The show's progression of what I've been doing in watercolor for the last 20 years. I kind of brought that with me. And while that's drying, I won't need that big easel on the car. I can probably just hold this short. Last year, same place,
Wow.
sort of.
Yeah.
It's not that good. And then I have another vertical one that's quite different than this one, but I couldn't find it. There are 3,687 watercolors in my collection. I've sold some of those, you know, and some of them never got numbered, but I'd number and
Wow.
photograph everything.
Oh my gosh.
Back in the day, one of my very first plein air watercolors. Is that reflection?
It looks, yeah, we got
causing
it.
a problem?
Uh,
One of my very first plein air watercolors. That's before I met Woody Hansen
wow.
or Henry. And of course it was rejected. His first show was ever entered. What I did too was I got bigger. I was still doing flowers, so there's a flower I did. And it's undated and it's signed very small. As I got going, my signature got huge. The day I met Henry Fukuhara was October 2003, and after lunch, I had lunch with him at the club, and after lunch, I immediately went down to this. I believe this is the City Hall in Santa Barbara, and stood on the grass out there and fired off 3 paintings. Do you believe that? Before I there's one of them. Very fired up about meeting Henry and watching him paint. And then I continued. Here's a landscape, and I did in Utah of the Great Salt Lake. And I can paint shopping centers, and they don't look like shopping centers. That's El Dorado Hills.
Wow.
So's that. Town center.
And there's the yellow sky you're talking about.
That's a yellow sky, why not? You have my permission to make a yellow sky. There's plein air in the Capitol. I don't mind going down there on the right day, with the right people, and painting a picture.
You see the picture?
This one came out of my head. That's Yosemite. Out of one's head. I have 500 Yosemite pictures because I've taught there for 5 years every summer for a week. And here's one of my Yosemite prize winners. Now there was really a heart-shaped cloud go by, and so I put it in. This is an orchard on the American River, the Cassie's Grove, which is going under threat of development when we want to keep it this way.
No.
Old Sacramento,
Oh, wow.
about it was 10 years ago. I have a series of Old Sacramento also. If you grew up in Carmichael, if you're familiar with Carmichael, you'll see this is the Marvin Marshall School over on Kenneth. That's where I went to school for 2 grades. I got moved by this Canadian trucker strike. I did a series of those, and a well-known politician has one in her living room. Oh, here it is. Okay, see?
Yes.
Same scene. It's
Yes.
entirely different.
Yes, very different.
That was a year ago, almost. The day.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
No.
8/21/21.
Oh my gosh, it was meant to be.
Sometimes you just drive by things, see them all the time on your route, and you just have to stop and paint them. There's Green Acres. Christmas time. You have breeze coming up. There's about a 10-minute painting I did for a group of school teachers up in the wine country.
Wow.
I didn't bring all 3,000. This is Boger Winery, the old part. Of course, it has the ubiquitous 55 Chevy stuck in there.
Oh,
I'm famous
nice.
for that. This painting right here has got quite a history because I was on a bus coming back from the art gallery, sitting next to Kenneth Potter, a famous painter.
Yes.
And he's looking over my shoulder and seeing me draw the scene from the freeway. He says, "You've created an X right there in the middle of your little drawing." And I said, "Yes, I guess I did." Which is breaking a rule, composition rule. But when I went ahead and later took the sketch and painted it, I did put the X in.
Yeah.
And it got rejected for its first show, but the second one, 10 years later, they took it. So it was shown recently at Rancho Cordova City Hall. I think this picture is the picture that I'm using for the open studio tour this year in the Capitol.
Yes.
This is another Yosemite or out of the head. I can paint those things out of my head now. I don't have to go back to my camera to look at pictures. Or even the sketchbook is what. And there's an American River, plein air, but it's very impressionistic. It's not accurate. And there's the same day, same scene.
Wow.
I put a motor on. So, as you can see, I'm having fun with all these different pictures. I came a long ways. I came from my first art show I ever entered. That's what I was doing. Flowers. And this showed at the Sacramento Fine Arts Center a long time ago, 21 years ago. And that's, I've came from that to this. And I've done it by doing. So, any questions in the crowd? No, you can ask questions. But, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me enjoy this. Now, I have one more thing to say. I'm going to do a little lecture right now about the fact that, about NCA and
Yes,
watercolor
please.
and wash in the Sacramento Fine Arts Center, and the Elk Grove Fine Arts Center, and the Rancho Cordova Arts, and on and on and on. When I started my career late in life, which is okay, I understand to do. You don't have to start when you're a teenager. I discovered this American phenomena of a nonprofit art club. Wow. I thought the only one there was here in Carmichael. But then I started exploring around, and I find out in the region here, within shouting distance, basically there's about 40. Then when you go over on the East Bay and go up to Northern California, there's more. Central California, you know, all the way down, Modesto, Turlock, Manteca, all these, they have nonprofit art clubs, 501c3s with members. And it's a wonderful phenomenon. And one of the benefits about joining and volunteering for a nonprofit art club, if you are indeed serious about art, is that you can volunteer and you can show with them. And what happens when you do that, your painting gets better. Really. Have you noticed that the prize winners in the last show, anywhere you went that was juried, the prize winners were volunteers.
Wow.
They weren't just selfish painters. They were also giving of themselves, which made them a better artist, I believe. So I'm a big fan of the nonprofit arts, and I am so proud of the fact that I was able to become a member of NCA so I could show more. But then I was able to work and gain the signature status. So when I sign this, when it dries, it'll say NCA Master Painter. I like to put that on there.
Yes.
So, and of course the NCA, which is, I hope I'll live to see its 100th birthday.
Oh, yeah.